Hey y'all, and welcome back, y'all. Welcome back with your girl. Let's Talk Choices TV, Lanita. Welcome back, y'all. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And welcome back, y'all. These are my opinions, and my opinions are not necessarily based on facts. I want y'all to come in and let's enjoy this reaction on why it's Officer Tatum and the lawyers are fighting back for the friends. Okay? As you all know from the beginning, I'm saying that I believe the boys right now. The only reason why I believe what the boys is is what I'm learning and what I'm picking up. Okay, the defamation part, I believe there's defamation out there, and that's why they have a defamation attorney. So today in these two videos is I'm gonna officer I'm gonna react to Officer Tatum is what he know and what he know. What do he know? What did he see to believe what these young men say? Now, y'all, I'm always been like this, and I got that from my grandma. There are two sides to a story. When you speak on two sides to a story, you want to you want to listen to both sides. Now, on Nolan Wells' side, only thing I know is that mom, and she got every right to wonder what happened to her son. Now, I'm not going to get in today. I might. It all depends on why she won't give up that cell phone. And those who watch it, this is not a sit down or watch a TV show. If you want to do that on your own. This is a reaction channel, okay? Well, I have to stop and start video. If you don't like that, then you don't need to be here. So far, I am with the boys, Nolan. I'm with Nolan and Nolan friends so far because I always believe that somebody out there, something happened to Nolan, and the reason, and one of my main reasons is because Nolan know how to swim. Nolan would not. I don't think he'd just go somewhere by himself and then floop and fall out like that and drown. But I just my spirit just telling me that something happened. And if he drunk alcohol and anything that y'all want to say that, but this anywho, something happened after 3 and 3:30. But today we're going to get into these attorneys, and we're going to get into Officer Tatum. So on this video right here, the defamation attorneys, there are going to be two different defamation attorneys that you're going to hear from. Okay? All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm going to stop this video because I am a reaction channel. I have to stop. It's mandatory that I stop and react to my video. And welcome back to all of my subscribers too, and the new people who watching. Okay, here we go.
Members come on to plead their case. Sometimes they have counsel come on. Sometimes they may even come on themselves. But it is very rare for them to lawyer up and say, not only are we denying what you're accusing me of, but I think you know I didn't do it, you know you're lying, and I'm coming for you. And that is what is happening around Nolan Wells, that I'm not sure if it's just unique to this situation and the people and the community involved, or if it is a sign of the times. And people are sick and tired of people on podcasts getting to just take pot shots for clicks. And what I don't do in this interview, and I don't do it for a reason, of course, his parents, horrible.
I want to get to
Why they
the
believe what
attorney
they believe
mark.
about their client.
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get just to the attorney part. Y'all can go watch that on your own. I just want to react to the attorney parts.
Believe about their clients. And then afterwards, I want to tell Springs people.
Oh, hold on. Let me take it back.
When you say they've been hurt,
Hold on.
boys I mentioned.
Hold on. Here we go right here. This one.
I already introduced the audience to who you're representing and why, and there are a lot of ugly allegations flying around in this case. Some of that is because of the overlays of race and intrigue in Mississippi. Some of it is because of the vacuum of the unknown, frankly, in the true crime space. But I want to hear from both of you before I get your latest accounting of where things stand, why you believe representation is necessary. Mr. Cox, I'll start with you.
Well, representation is necessary for these boys simply because they've been lied to, or they've been lied upon. And these lies are a little bit more than just your average everyday white lies. These lies are horrible, and they've hurt these boys who have nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells. That's the issue. Plain and simple.
When you say they've been hurt, they've been injured, Counsel Peltzik, what does that mean to you, and what are the intentions of the boys at this point?
Well, number one, I can say our intention is to file defamation suits. We've already identified multiple individuals who defamed these fine young men, Warren, Morgan, and Jax. Obviously, I cannot disclose their names at the moment, but I can tell you this: we've identified multiple individuals. We've already put it out there. If you have defamed them, if you've lied about them, if you've hurt them, we've already said you should apologize and retract now, or else you're going to be hauled into court. There's a lot of stuff out there. There are a lot of folks who have accused these fine young men, these good Ocean Springs people, of committing crime.
Okay, this. They already have their eyes on who they want to sue. They already have their eyes on the ones that they want to sue. That's what I'm getting from this, interpreting from this information. My thing is this, y'all. A lot of people don't know it, but social media has an agenda and a policy that you do have to follow. Now, I know the policies on YouTube, and I know it well on TikTok. So there are policies that you have to follow that a lot of people don't. It's not cautious about that. They don't know how serious those policies are on social media. They think it's just a program and a machine where you can just get on there and say anything. That's how come I know what to say and what words to use. So anybody can get a lawyer to fight back for them. But the main thing is what you say and what you put out there. And I have heard a whole lot of stuff. And I like, where they get that from? How they get that? And I even made a video on TikTok like, oh boy. And I think I put one on YouTube. Oh boy, here go another video. Where they get these videos from? Okay, so defamation is serious with anyone, not just the boys in Nolan Wells' case.
Being associated with a murder, covering up a murder, destroying evidence, you name it, they've done it.
So one step down the road, or pick a metaphor, into the weeds for the non-legal people. You have two different categories of defamation. You have per se and per quid. Per se is there's certain categories where if we can prove you said it, the damage is assumed. One of those is the moral compunction of having been involved.
See this one right here. Nolan's closest friends say fear, not guilt, is what's kept many of them for speaking purposely. Now, as speculation continues to swirl online, one friend said members of Wells' inner circle have been hit with death threats, forcing them to grieve while defending themselves against accusations they insist aren't true. So that's what I was telling y'all the other day, that Wells family even getting death threats and threats. Even content creators in that situation as well. All of that got to stop, y'all. Especially on social media. They got to do something about it. How they gonna do it? I don't know. How they gonna do it? But this is just too much.
Violent crime. Now, an exception to that, which doesn't make it okay to defame, but it changes the standard, is if someone is assumed to be a public figure for the purpose of this, that this is now an open and notorious case, and therefore they are public people, and therefore the standard would have to be higher, known as reckless disregard, which means you knew what you were saying wasn't true. It's not just an opinion. It just not could be true. You know it's not true, and you said it anyway.
Right.
Counsel Cox, which standard do you think applies and why?
Well, here in Mississippi, the slander pro se, would apply. These boys have been accused of infamous crimes, and you know, what more infamous and how much more infamous can you get than murder? I can't think of a more infamous crime.
Don't buy that camera that's going viral to keep burglars away. Do this instead. For only $22 a month, I got a premium home security system. All I did was answer some basic questions.
Every time to get interesting
I got it all set up and
commercial.
running and just...
More infamous crime, to be quite frank with you. And I think slander per se is the one that applies here. It's three are not public figures. They are claimed to be public figures. They were thrust into this simply because, and only because, of a group of, I would say, ill-intentioned people on the internet have decided and labeled them as murderers, as killers. The word thing you can be labeled or called. And so that's the way I look at this. It's plain and simple. It's cut and dry. These boys are not public figures, have never claimed to be. And they're only in this now because people are calling them horrible names, horrible things. They're getting death threats online. They're being confronted in public. Their lives are upended. And the only thing they've ever done was try to help these boys who are in a progress.
Now, when you're talking about people who may have defamed your clients, Counsel Palcic, you are not talking about the Wells family. Am I correct?
Correct. We are not planning any legal action against the Wells family.
Okay, that's a and that was one of the things that I didn't think that they was taking out any defamation or anything toward the family, because the family been threatening themselves. And this situation, shit, I don't even know how we got. And see, my thing is this: when you apply certain thing on social media, say like I'm representing the family, and I got to be careful how even though I'm an attorney, I'm a NAACP attorney. Hey, baby, even though I'm a NAACP attorney, lawyer. I mean, the thing is about that is I have to watch my presentation. My presentation is very important before I just speak out straight out like that. You know what I mean? Like, they have to be careful. Say, like, the WACP attorney has to be careful how they apply their information. See, say like me. I'm just going to say just me. even though I retired, but still, if my certification has an end, I have to be careful how I speak like this because I know I watch what comes out my mouth. That I know what I can say and what I can't say. What I can say and what I can't say. And if you don't, if you got to be careful how on social media, Ben Crump has to be careful how he come direct. I don't have nothing against Ben Crump. I understand what kind of attorney he is, but we're not living back in the days. We're living in times, but the thing is, the way you apply your information, so won't people think that way? Because I never thought it was a racist thing from the beginning. I didn't think that. I thought it was what happened on out when he was out with his friends. I didn't look at this case like everybody else, and I'm just the type of person when my mama children just don't think like everybody else in the family, and you know that's just my way of thinking. I thought I was thinking as friends, so I'm glad to hear the attorney at the top said in the bottom that. And Bart attorney is at the bottom, y'all, and the other two or Warren attorneys at the top. I'm glad that they not going for the mom because the mom did not. It's not going after them like that. You got it's a lot going on in this case that it can misinform both sides. But the other people who threaten them like that, we shouldn't even be going through that. You 40-some years old, 30-some years old, and you all in this case right here from California talking about bomb threats. Oh, a kids situation.
There is intrigue. Speaking to other counsel who is representing someone else who was involved and absolutely has been dragged into it. And there have been all kinds of suggestions. There's this alleged audio tape that's been sweetened that has an account that is not backed up by any witnesses, to my understanding. The question is, what do you understand at this time to be the best reckoning of the investigators of what happened?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I can't answer it, but I can answer it this way. We've been very consistent all along. We do not know how Nolan Wells died. And our side, we have refrained very carefully from speculating, guessing. We're not going to do that. But what we do know is this. We know that Warren, Morgan, and Jax had nothing whatsoever to do with Nolan's tragic death. And that's what we want to emphasize. And if I may just add just one thing on the previous point, and you nailed it. Your recitation of defamation law was largely correct, which is that, look, our three fine young men here, they were private, anonymous individuals minding their own business, living their lives, great people, and then this happened. They did not thrust themselves into this controversy. They are defending themselves, and they were forced to defend themselves. And only after the fact, only after they were accused of committing infamous crimes, did they then take the steps to defend themselves. So they are, by any measure, by any reckoning, they are private individuals, or in a lawsuit, they would be private plaintiffs. And that would be a negligence standard, not actual malice.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Summer's here. If you want to actually,
I think
they
that
offer the highest.
I think that a lot of information that was put out there is not the people's fault. See, that's the only thing, y'all. Hold on for a minute. Let me skip this. I feel so sorry for the mama law every time I see that. Hold on, y'all.
Colostrum.com/Cuomo. Now, some courts may, I'm sure you guys are investigating it diligently, but, the courts can go different ways on what it means when somebody's part of a public affair, and certainly this has become a public affair. But look, any way it is reckoned within the law, there's obviously an issue for concern. There's a lot of wild stuff out there. Look, I have people accusing me of having some kind of information because I have sources close to the investigation who are doing what sources do, which is yap and saying what they've heard about the autopsy. If they're wrong, then I correct them. You know, and that's called journalism. It's called reporting. And you know, there's but it's under seal. So Cuomo must have some kind of inside part of the role of the event. This is just all bullshit intrigue. I don't have anything there. I don't even know where the investigator's office.
But I think that I don't care if you're a journalist or what. There's somebody lost their loved ones out there on an island, and y'all making jokes. That ain't nothing to be joking about. And a lot of things that on social media, I don't think that it was the people fault, because first of all, that Cito video, I don't know who clowned that. They clowned that Cito audio. They gave y'all the truth. What they want y'all to hear couple times from different news outlet, and then they turned around and put the Cito audio out there with a big old ABC name words title, and then put all that junk in there to cause confusion. And then when the people what got active and who was concerned about Nolan and what Nolan Wells was trying to detect, information and try to help out. And then that's when y'all want to sue them. I don't think that none of the people who tried to help that Cito video, and they know what they heard on it. I think that whoever put the Cito video out, that outlet should be, and they need to find out, attorneys, y'all need to do y'all job and find out who put that out there, because that is a concern to the community, to the people. That where in the heck did it come from? Where did that audio come from? Why was it there? And then, and a lot of people on social media, and I be trying to tell y'all this, don't believe everything you see on social media. Y'all believe everything that popped up over there on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can't do that. Just because them people sitting there talking like they talking. You got to really do your own research. Sometimes you go on the internet and you stop listening to them people and listen to those people. Not just because I have a small channel, but I'm smarter than you think. Okay? It's just y'all just don't know me from here because I had to work. So it's information that y'all shouldn't believe. Don't believe it.
Prosecutor's office is. I don't even know where the sheriff is. But this is a brave new world of true crime. And I understand why these families want their sons protected to the extent they can be. Counsel Cox, what is the relevance of Nolan?
I'm going to tell you something. I don't even like that. It ain't up to me to like. But I don't even like that the mama was at the funeral speaking on what happened to Nolan. I mean, it's okay if you do the celebration like it's supposed to be. And I'm the mom. It was just her. Everybody have different religion. They celebrate differently. Okay, y'all ain't about to be dancing not at that. The after stuff. No, y'all need. I want y'all to go home. And let me be with the family. You know what I mean? And I think that's what she did. She had the family and stuff, but I mean, it's just too much going on for me to lose a son, and that's just me. It's okay. My family is around us. Listen to music and stuff like that. Everybody else, I don't even want them around me because I want to know what happened to my son, because I'm so close. I love all my children, but I'm so attached to my sons too. Now all my daughters, Lord in the world, Jesus, if they listen, I love y'all too, but I love y'all close to y'all, but I'm attached to them boys, honey. Woo, Jesus. Something happened to my children, I'm gonna have a fit, but I hope this woman right here, Nolan, my TikTok. Only reason why I call him my TikTok grandson, y'all, I keep the community over there with them kids happy. I keep sad people happy. I keep people happy, you know, in situations. So that's why I don't care what people say about me. But I don't think that when this lady was she was grieving, they shouldn't be on the stage doing all this back and forward and all this kind of stuff. She ain't even grieved yet. Her mind is saying this, her mind is saying that. I just wish they would have just handled their business and left her alone, man. And she didn't want to sit down, but she needed to. That lady, a nurse, pressure job, got kids, got to cook. Then she has her own TikTok. She been had her own TikTok Pooh Bear channel. That ain't new. A lot of people think that's new. She been had that channel for a long time. And that's what she get paid off of. So she been doing it. Yeah, I just don't know.
Phone.
Well, so, the thing about the phone is that from the very beginning, that others have made it an issue and have said, falsely of course, that these boys deleted text messages, deleted Snapchat, got into his phone. All of that is untrue. And a few weeks ago, I heard it just like you did, just like America heard it, that Ben Crump took his client by the hand and walked up the steps of the Jackson County Courthouse, and when they came out, said they are going to cooperate with law enforcement, that they're going to turn over the phones to investigators, have everybody have an opportunity to see it. And it hasn't happened. And so the only relevance to Nolan's phone, the only relevance at all, has been what people have put on it.
Do you support Israel?
What is his name? Nolan's phone is relevant. Nolan's phone is very relevant in this case. What was in it? Why before we should see before texts and after texts. What was in the phone? Do what you need to do to download so the company can have whatever y'all want them to save, and let them get the phone. But it's I think if people get out the mama ill, the mom can do her thing. I believe if she start over, she can do something different. She'll go ahead on and get her own attorney. I don't know who grabbed her like that. I don't know. Cause I mean, if something happened to my son, I wouldn't think about my children. I wouldn't think about being Crump. You know, ain't nothing wrong with being Crump. I'm just saying, it's strange how they just grabbed him. Once she found out that the sheriff said that if no foul play, that's when I would have went and got me an attorney. But somebody told her to go get Ben Crump, a civil rights attorney. Why they thought that this was a civil rights matter. You know what I mean? It was his friends. They comes to the house.
No phone was not hacked into. It wasn't deleted messages from our side, and it was handed over to Christine Wells and her friends that night. And so the only relevance that the phone has is what others put on it, not us.
And what is your assertion, Mr. Peltzik, as to why they haven't given the phone over?
That one I'm going to stay away from. I will let our litigation papers do the talking, and I also want to refrain from speculating. Because I would not have the foggiest notion. I wouldn't know why. But
My thing is, if they was gonna do something, I'm just thinking. I think different than people, y'all. I always think outside the box. I don't think like nobody. But my thing is, with the phone, if those boys wanted to do something else with that phone, don't they know that people track phone? They track phones now. It's a ping tower, can say where the phone is. They could have done what they wanted to do to the phone when they had the phone. You know, especially when your parents are into the law, either when your parents you know, all depends on their job title and stuff like that. It's a way. They didn't have to turn the phone to the parent. They didn't have to. If they wanted to do something to that phone, they wouldn't have had it in their car, but they kept the phone where it needed to be in the car. But they been drinking. I'm not thinking. I forgot the phone was in the car. Some people don't remember when they been drinking, like, oh shoot, we got this boy phone. But Warren thought about Nolan. And this just my little question. With Warren, I wish I can ask Warren some questions. What make him thought about Nolan that morning? Because he called Tristan and asked Tristan if he seen him. What make him thought about it's okay, you know, you got that close friend that cares about you and want to know where you are. What make him thought about Nolan overnight? You know what I mean? Who called Warren? See, I think Warren got power in this case. I think he got power in the case. The reason why I say the kids trust him for some reason. Those boys, young men are telling, they always tell Warren stuff. Warren wasn't there when they left. They always calling Warren on the phone. Warren, they did Warren this, Warren that, because they know Warren got power. And Warren need to stay off around them. And I think Warren gonna be the one, either somebody else gonna break and tell everything. Because you can't hold stuff when it's somebody close to you, and then you open up your eyes and you see them. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just saying.
That answer works as well. Let me ask you something that you would have reason to pursue. You say our clients, you and Cox obviously have the same position, which is your clients had nothing to do with this. How do you know they had nothing
right.
to do with it?
Well, a few things. First of all, they're honest, and obviously we've spoken to them. But more importantly, we know beyond any dispute, beyond any doubt, from a variety of different sources and
See, attorney, you don't know them? I don't see some of the honest people. Listen, y'all, for y'all get things wrong, because y'all will get things messed up and screwed up. I mean, I can't say that. I just hope that as an attorney, he got to come, as a lawyer, he has to come a little bit more power than, I know they honest, and you don't even know nobody. You just believe that they would do this and do that, unless he seen what he saw information that what's up, doggy? Unless he saw information that their phones, unless he saw their videos, that you got to understand that that's the only reason why he can answer that, because I don't see some of the honest kids in school that I had to write up and call the parent because it's something that I saw. And the only reason why the parents believe me, because I'm the one that ain't gonna lie on the kids. So he need to come out a little bit more word of why this and why that, why he believed that they are telling truth. I believe the boy. Only reason why I'm saying that I believe the boys is due to the Navy investigation. I know that the last time I put eyes on Nolan. He was with a girl that was at 3. They called it 911, told at 4. And the only problem I got like that is the situation is when you're gonna hear Officer Tatum got information, and they have information that this person saw Nolan. They have not interviewed that person, y'all. A lot of people got, they already been to court. And they not telling y'all that in this case. So I'm telling you that. They've been to court. They don't been to court. They in court. Okay?
Variety of different pieces of evidence. We know that they were off that island at approximately 4:30 p.m.
Right.
On July 4th. So if I could just take that a little bit further, and then I'm sure Tyler can elaborate.
And Officer White got this video. He have this video. And y'all see legs and arms and stuff. Just because Lanita don't see it, y'all can get upset with me because I don't see no leg and no arm on the floor. I don't see it. Officer Tatum took this. He seen the video. He seen the video, and he seen the inside of the boat, and ain't nothing on the floor. And I'm gonna take his word for that.
Essentially, they were gone, and they were gone hours before sunset. They were off that island, and then there are at least 2 credible witnesses, adults, upstanding members of the community. I won't name them on here out of respect for their privacy, who then saw Nolan at approximately 6 p.m. alive and well.
All right, y'all. They ain't the first time we heard this. It's some responsible adults saw Nolan at 6 o'clock on the island. The boy's been gone, y'all. The boy's been gone at 4:31. The boy's been gone. Bump what you saw, debunk what you heard on TikTok. And people been like, ooh, I see my leg on the boat. Let's stop it. Because that means, I don't know what it called, but it'll start making you see an arm and a leg on the floor. Stop it. Just stay over there and believe what them people saying who you believe. No, I don't believe. I believe the boys left. When they left that island, when they told Nolan come on, I believe them. Nolan didn't want to leave. And at 3, and at 4:31, at 4 o'clock, they called 911. They were not that far from the boys. Then at 4:30, they was out there in the water, and Bob came to help them. I believe them. I believe these people who going to be in court that saw Nolan at 6. You even have Javon say, I saw the boat when they leave, but I didn't see Nolan on the boat. Nolan talked to the coach. Nolan talked to Javon. Nolan talked to some other people. Katie is who y'all need to talk to. Because Katie was talking to him. And there are other boats. So I'm with the boys so far, y'all. I'm sorry. Until something different comes. We don't have nothing else to go by. But junk.
Still on the island. And if I may, just another 30 seconds, if I could just elaborate further.
Yeah, there's no time crunch here. You use the time as you want.
Sure, I want to be respectful of your time, but I'll just say this. I had never been to Mississippi before. I felt the warmth of the folks there. I was welcomed in, and I was grateful to have the opportunity to visit Horn Island last Friday. And here's the thing: unless you've been to the island, you really can't talk about the case in the same way. Because once you go to the island, you see, okay, it's approximately 10 mile long barrier island, but it's only a few hundred yards wide or so. It's flat with low sand dunes, and
Oh yeah, excuse me. Commercial.
And then there are no trees, no buildings, no visual obstructions, and you had several thousand people out there on July 4th. What I'm trying to say is there's no way that anybody could have gotten away with a murder in broad daylight on July 4th in that area of Horn Island.
Mr. Cox, have the boys expressed to you any concern that something may have happened
Right.
to Nolan Wells, that they've heard anything, that there's anything suspicious, not involving them? I understand that part of your position, but that they have any reason to believe it could have been something other than an accident.
Well, everyone in the world wants to know, just like our boys want to know. And first and foremost, our boys want to know what happened to Nolan Wells. And the plain answer is they don't know. And so have they heard rumors? Have they heard anything? Absolutely, just like everybody else has. But we're not here to speculate. We're not going to speculate as to what happened. And that's just not our job. That's not what we do. We deal with facts, deal with evidence. And the evidence points to one thing, is that Warren, Jax, and Morgan had nothing to do with the death of Nolan Wells. And just to go back and talk about a little bit about what Ed said, which was those boys left the island at approximately 4:30. If you remember, Chris, way back when this first started, the online chatter and everything was that these boys left this guy on a deserted island.
Yes. Sounded like 5 guys went out, 4 men come back, and the one who didn't come back was a black guy. That is why there was so much intrigue, especially
Right.
authorities out of the box said no foul play. You put together all the factors of the optics, and it made perfect sense, not just that any family would want answers, but especially a black family in Mississippi would want answers. I didn't have any problem with that
Right.
until I understood the context of what actually happened on July 4th off of Horn Island. But continue.
Sure. And let me address that a little bit. If you've ever been to Mississippi, you'll know there's like 6 states in this state. The Gulf Coast is its own thing. It is the gem of the entire state. And Mississippi has a history. We know that. We live that every day. African Americans here in Mississippi live that every day. But what I want your viewers to understand, what I want you to understand, is that stuff may have happened in Mississippi, but Ocean Springs is where it stops. Mississippi has worked hard. Ocean Springs has worked hard to make sure that is not their reputation. We accept everyone here in Ocean Springs. We love everybody. Ocean Springs has worked hard for that not to be what they're about. And so, if I can just get back to what Ed said, when this started, it was, these guys go to a deserted island with their black friend, they come back with no black friend, and that's a horrible narrative.
But attorney, you got to also remember, I know y'all, I don't go to Mississippi, no reason, but I like to gamble in buses. But my thing you got to understand is some people don't accept certain things. When some people don't accept certain people in a group, it ain't nothing nobody can do with that. And some people do. So Ocean Spring has they good and they bad people. They got the good people and they got the bad. And then somebody got to talk for Nolan, because Nolan is deceased. Somebody got to talk for Nolan. He done been out there before. My question is standing on my head is the girl that he met when he walked her to the boat. Do anybody have any videos of him walking her to the boat? What happened when he walked her to the boat? What boat did he walk her to? Because her sister was still out there at 7:30 and she didn't see Nolan. So it's a lot of holes in this case right here. If everybody stay focused on what happened to Nolan.
The reality of the situation is there's 2,000 people on this island. We're 30. Nolan is still there. We know he's still there. And so the only thing that detractors and people who want, for some odd reason, for Nolan Wells to have been murdered, they doctored a CETO call, enhanced it, which is not enhanced. They just, added more gain and added.
Well, CETO shouldn't have done it. And I hope y'all sue CETO or somebody enhanced that video. Audrey, come on now. Come on, Audrey. You didn't even have to come in here to be negative. See what I mean? So back to what I was saying while you were ruling, and that would never bother me because I retired from my job. Okay, so the CETO call is a problem to me, and then I'm going to keep your message up here. The CETO call is very important to me because they shouldn't have put that yabba dabba doo at the beginning of that video if they didn't want people to speak on what was going on in that video. So we don't know who put that video out there. We don't even know if the video is supposed to be a setup. We don't know. But it shouldn't have been there.
Words to it where you can read along with inaudible language. And they said, oh, well, that proves that Nolan Wells was on the boat. We know with no doubt in our mind that Nolan was not on that boat when those boys came in. And so that's the last thing that detractors have to say that this is what happened.
And why would CETO make a video to make this? Did y'all get with CETO and to talk about who created that audio? Did y'all get with CETO? What did CETO say about the audio that they put out here that criminate a lot of people for talking about it? I don't hear nobody speaking on that, and I got a problem with that. So did anyone contact CETO and ask CETO about that video at the beginning? And who put that video? That's who y'all need to be going for, because they the one stirred it up everything. They stirred up everything. CETO.
Fossey was never on the boat.
Well, that's a very important point that you guys should flesh out for the audience. There is a debate about the veracity of that audio. And the reason I don't understand it is, look, I found the version that I saw of the young woman talking about audio sweetening. I Googled all the terms she used, some of them, even though I've been in this business 30 years, I was not familiar with. The terms are accurate. The techniques are actual things that you may do to try to help enhance audio.
Hey, where's West Born and
So, Carl, how do you know that CETO did not do that? Where that information is so I can show my people. How do you know? See, that's the thing. Y'all got to be careful what y'all say. Because you got to say, you say CETO did not. How do you know that CETO didn't do that audio like that? How do you know? This ain't got nothing to do with no sense. This don't have nothing to do with common sense. They put it out there. It's their video. That's the problem, reason why a lot of y'all don't need to be saying nothing, because you don't know who put that video out there, that audio out there. You don't know why is that audio out there. Why is it on the news? Why is it there? No common sense in this case. Because if that was, we've been on got to the bottom of it. Period.
Stock working, we're thinking, can y'all please tell me we have a membership?
All right, of course. How far is the coming up, sir?
Hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins. Sneakers that are as soft and comfy as your favorite slippers. Just step in and go.
I'm proud to work for United Healthcare.
And don't get upset because don't nobody believe. I don't come in here telling nobody this and that, because that's not what I'm telling my people.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
Here's the problem. My understanding surrounding the investigation, but you guys can actually answer this from your clients, is that the idea that this guy Bart, who got on the boat to help them when they were taking on water, that something happened on the boat when he was there involving Nolan Wells. There were boats all around them. There were people witnessing the event who have talked to investigators about the event. So, except for what could only exist on a podcast, which is a conspiracy that all of these people concerted a story that they have stuck to so far, nobody saw Nolan Wells on the boat with them when it was taking on water,
Right.
or it was helping, and nobody saw anything happening that would have been a proxy
Right.
for what is in that audio. Do your clients verify that?
Do they verify the enhanced audio? Absolutely not. Do they verify?
No. The opposite. Do they verify that Nolan wasn't on the boat and nothing happened like that with that what is heard on that audio sweetened?
I want to be clear with you, Chris, and I want to be clear with your audience and your viewers. My clients undoubtedly verified that Nolan Wells was not on the boat on the way back from Horn Island. He was still on the island.
There's a second.
My thing is this: why is it so hard? What is it that the people need to not to believe Nolan wasn't on that boat? Nolan wasn't on the boat from what they are saying and what people are saying. Why is it that they just talking? Just be talking. Why do they want Nolan to be on the boat with those friends? Why Nolan can't be on the boat with the other friends who were left out there? And that's what I'm what's the problem of putting Nolan on the boat with them? They need to talk about that on their channel.
Which is, no, what the sweetened audio tells us is that they're discussing what they did to Nolan. He didn't have to be on the boat for that conversation to take place.
Right.
What I'm saying is, my understanding of the investigation is that people in the boat in front that was towing the boat at the time and people who were behind as it was leaving say there was no conversation like that going on the boat.
Not one bit.
So who added that information on there? If it didn't happen, why did they put that on that sea tow? Why is it somebody sending a message? Why they do it that way? Why didn't they get in touch with Ben Crump? Why they didn't get in touch with the sheriff department? Why put that out there like that? It's so many fake videos out here.
Yeah, there was no conversation like that because that never happened. And I want to make one thing clear, and I want to put it in terms that hopefully a lot of your viewers understand. I do criminal defense work for a living. About half of my practice is criminal defense work. I represent 3 of these boys, and of course there's a lot more out there that have talked to investigators, talked to everybody that you can ask. They ain't snitched not one time. If they had done something, don't you think that at least one of them would have told on the other? Yes. Their story's been consistent. We've had to put them on national podcasts. We've had to do national radio shows, national podcasts like yours, just to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with this. How much more can we do to show that? They would have flipped on each other a long time ago.
You can't prove the non-existence of a fact. That's the problem with being a defendant in a public case. The onus, the burden, is on the investigators. Now, I can't argue with them doing it the way I understand now that the local practice of this prosecutor is to put everything through the grand jury. That's not what I'm familiar with in a lot of the other jurisdictions where I've covered cases and where I practiced. Usually a prosecutor doesn't bring everything to a grand jury, but they bring things when they think it's worthwhile. This one does it differently. Even if this was not the normal course, I would understand why they would want to go to a grand jury in this situation,
Right.
For transparency purposes. How long do you expect this process to take before there are any answers disclosed?
Well, that's a good question. Down here in Jackson County, we have a fantastic, and look, I go against these guys every day in my criminal practice. Angel Myers is a fantastic DA. She has fantastic assisting district attorneys that assist her. These guys are good. Trust me. I know. I have to go against them. And you have to be that good to go against them. But they do their due diligence. They make sure that every fact is out there, that is verified. And I think if I had to take a guess based on my experience, I would say this will probably be in front of a jury, a grand jury, not less, I would say about 2 months.
2 months more, because it's in front of the grand jury right now.
If not less, yeah. But I think no more than 2 months.
Well, that is, look, hopefully that time works two ways, right? Time can allow things to mellow, people move on, there are other events in the world, especially if the confidential nature of it basically stays quiet. And I got to tell you, this prosecutor has been conspicuously quiet, which is unusual, frankly. And could you criticize it? I don't know. I mean, as a lawyer, no, I think this is probably the right way. As a journalist, yes, because you want to hear more and you want to know about the process, but that's not necessarily the best evidence of due process. So I understand it, but it can be frustrating. The other way time works is that there's nagging, not speculation, I want to ask you about that in a second, but that the time works to magnify the interest. What do you think happens here, Mr. Paltic?
Well, I just want to say this. Look, we have the humility, and Morgan, Warren, and Jax, we all have the humility to say, look, we don't know what we don't know, and that's our approach. That's our approach here. As far as your question about the timing of the investigation, look, I've practiced criminal defense my entire career. Obviously not in Mississippi, mostly in New York. But I will say this: when I see a prosecutor who's quiet and professional and methodical, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That strikes me as a district attorney that really cares about evidence. And by the way, we really care about evidence too.
Well,
my thing is, I have heard good things about Ocean Springs community. I have heard positive things about, awesome things about Nolan Wells. But I just can't believe that nobody see Nolan nowhere out there. Some people say they saw him after 6. They seen him after 6. And like the sister said, Kaylin said they didn't see him at 7:30. My thing is, what stopping somebody? Are they from Ocean Spring? They are out of towner visiting Ocean Springs, and something happened, or is it someone in Ocean Springs afraid to talk? Because Ocean Springs seems like a community that sticks together, that look out for one another. So what do Ocean Springs community does when a situation like this happens? Nolan is out there around his community. He is from Ocean Springs. He's from that community. What can the community do to help Nolan get justice or find out what happened to Nolan out there? Because somebody had to see something. And if they saw something, why are they afraid? What, they're afraid of jail time? What is it that they're afraid of?
about evidence. That's how the system works.
Can I just say though that's my concern. We are seeing here that there are many bad actors, elixir salesmen, hucksters, vultures, you name it, opportunists who don't care one lick. They don't care one lick about evidence.
Well, they care about clicks, and sometimes they're trying to get them legitimately. Sometimes they're using the veil of the First Amendment to get away with saying whatever works in that moment. And I understand it. It can be frustrating, but welcome to my world. Now, just so people understand, Counsel Cox is local counsel, understands the jurisdiction of the state and the culture very, very well. You're known as a defamation attorney. And why do you believe that you have a case here that is worth your time and effort?
Well, first and foremost, I believe in these young men. I've met them. I've spent time with them. I believe 1,000% in Warren. I believe 1,000% in Morgan. I believe 1,000% in Jax. These are great people. They're just really, really fine.
My thing is, how many great people out there on that island just like these young men? Not everybody is great like these young men. Not everybody love one another like these young men in Ocean Springs. Nolan's from there. What's supposed to happen when a young man 18 years old out there on that island with a beautiful community and don't nobody know nothing, and ain't nobody saying nothing? What is the policy on it? What is the policy on, what is the protocol for that? What is the protocol when something happens to somebody out there in the water? What is it? Because Nolan was left out there. Nolan was left out there on the island. His friends was gone. Nolan was there. I can't understand, why don't nobody believe that Nolan, why do people believe Nolan left with them? And they got on the phone to call Cito. You think they want to let Cito would have seen somebody in that boat? Yeah. Coast Guard would have saw somebody in that boat? Yes. Now y'all got to understand, well, why do people think Nolan was in the boat if Nolan was seen outside the boat? Do anybody have any videos, any picture of Nolan sitting with Katie? Do anyone have any video with Nolan with Katie? Do anyone have any video with Nolan with his coach? Do anybody have any video of what happened, all the fun that they had out there on that island? Yeah. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Young men. So number one, I believe in them. I believe in Tyler. I believe in their families.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is cooked to order to perfection. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Taxpayers cover the cost of a...
And I believe the friends. I believe the friends. I'm going with the friends until something different happens. I believe the friends.
I've spent time with these folks. I've talked to them. I know who's telling the truth and who isn't. And I've got a bunch of folks here who are telling the truth.
I know the friends are telling the truth. There's so many evil people out here in this world. They so mean and evil. They'll say anything to distract this case. I believe the boys. I believe what they said until somebody come up here and say something different. They wasn't there. But everybody want to blame the boys. What about the other people? How about that?
I care about this is I hate lying. Listen, I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I will fight to the death for our First Amendment. However, lying and hurting people, lying to harm people, and lying to profit is clearly far outside the bounds of the First Amendment, and I care about that.
when is it outside the bounds of the First Amendment? You said a couple of times we don't want to speculate. Counsel Cox had said, I don't want to speculate. Well, I do want to speculate a little bit on two different fronts. The first one is, well, what is the line? I heard the sweetened audio, and I think it could be real, and that means that the boys were involved. Am I defaming them? No, I'm stating an opinion. What do you believe the line is
Right.
that has been crossed, in your opinion?
Well, I can give you a very clear, bright line. When you accuse 3 young men of committing crimes, and I will borrow the term of art from Tyler because it's the best 2 words in this entire interview, infamous crimes. When you are accusing 3 young men of infamous crimes, and you really don't know what you're talking about, when you have an ongoing investigation, so number 1, you are an opportunist, whoever, we're not going to name names here, we're not doing that because we're not them, we don't do that. That'll be in the papers that are filed in court. But when you are not an investigator on the case, right, so you do not have access to the investigative file, and you probably haven't been to the island, you've probably never met our fine young men here, right, you're not a prosecutor, you're not a police officer, you're nothing, you're just someone who is just spitballing, and you're saying they committed a crime, that's defamation.
What if you think what if they say, I feel?
No, he said if a person on that Cito video, if a person said, oh, I heard that, I didn't hear a lot of things on that Cito audio that y'all people heard. I didn't even hear it. I even took it back and showed my people, my subscribers over here who trust me. We looked at it, we watched the description. We didn't hear and see this stuff that y'all were hearing in that video. So y'all got audio. Y'all got to find out who edited that audio in. Now you said a definition, the act hurting a person's or group good name and reputation by telling or writing a lie. It is an untruth presented as a fact that causes harm or loss.
They may have. They look guilty. I don't
Defamation.
believe them.
Defamation, plain and simple, dead to rights.
I don't know. I don't know that it's dead to rights because, and look, I'm with you about what you're against, okay? And I think, just for a little bit of dicta here, I think the rules on social media have to change. And I don't like saying it because I sound like I'm asking for censorship, and that's a disgusting idea to a journalist. However, everybody else has rules except this place. You don't like what I say on News Nation? Boom, you've got a pocket. You don't like what I say on Sirius Radio? Boom. You don't like what I say on this podcast? I'm Chris Cuomo. You can come at me. There's going to be a pocket, right? These people don't have pockets. So they say things, and then you say, well, I'm going after the platform. I've told them 10 times, this Chris Cuomo is saying things on their platform that are demonstrably false, and they're leaving them up. Section 230 of the Internet Act. You can't just sue them.
May I just say one thing? Look,
Yes.
this part is not the law. This is just my personal view for what it's worth, which is very little. But I am an ardent opponent of censorship. So I just don't believe in censorship, and I do believe that people should be able to say and post what they want on social media. However, I am also a big believer in defamation. And you can say whatever you want as long as you understand that there are consequences.
I got it, but I'm just saying the biggest purveyor of these things is not me. It's the platform that magnifies what I say that's provocative for the and the ad placements, and they have no liability.
Well, that's a bit of a separate issue, but I'm a big believer in personal responsibility, and I think all adults have to take responsibility for their words.
Yeah, I believe.
Do y'all know that a lot of people with social media accounts supposed to cause confusion? They get paid to tell y'all, let y'all believe lies. They put information out there because that's what they supposed to do. You'll be surprised what go on social media, especially when a case like Nolan Wells.
I believe in all.
Yes.
I believe in the First Amendment. I believe that there's a line. That's why you have the statutes. And I believe that the platforms have gotten a pass, and it's been at the behest of the rest of those good interests in a way that the New York Times can't do it, CNN can't do it, CBS can't do it, News Nation can't do it, but Instagram can. YouTube can, and they are the biggest media platforms. So it's an interesting situation, and it'll be interesting to see if you litigate what courts say, because this doesn't happen that often. So this is like a new phase of these types of trial by public.
And I'll say one other thing. Look, things are so different now, last 20 years or less, right? You have a story and, basically reputational arsonists can pour accelerant on the situation, and it's just like a dry forest. It's like the tinder just going up in flames, and it's just so different than in the 1970s or 1980s where you had, the nightly news and you had newspapers. It's so different. I really do believe everybody should have an absolute right to freedom of expression. They should also understand, though, that we do have defamation law.
Understood. And sometimes you learn that the hard way, and I look forward to seeing how that plays out. The other point is that not all speculation is the same. My understanding is that people reached out to the families wanting to help and saying, look, I saw him. I know the boys left. I know when they left. I saw Nolan. Nolan was drinking. Nolan wasn't drinking. Nolan was with this girl. Nolan was with this other girl. Counsel Cox, has anything come to the family's attention that is helpful in understanding what may have happened here?
Well, sure. But again, once we talk about that again comes speculation. We've had people come and tell us verifiable, good, and just the way that local council here, Chuck Gordy, says that good Ocean Springs people, we have good Ocean Springs people come to us and say, look, we saw Nolan at the time after the boys left, and they're good people, they're verifiable, they're good members of our community here, and so we've had those people reach out to us. We've pointed those people to authorities, and the authorities have that information, and we've been doing that for weeks, Chris. And
Understood.
And that's the thing, is we've been as transparent as humanly possible. Since July 5th, we have been collecting as many witness statements, just like everybody else has, trying to put together some sort of timeline, trying to figure out what happened up until 4:30, because we don't know what happened after that. If we could find out, that's where a lot of these witnesses come in, and we've provided those to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
Have the authorities, I know that you say that the boys and their families have cooperated. Has there been any suggestion to the boys that they're people of interest, that they shouldn't leave, that they want them to report in with their movements?
Not that I know of, Chris.
Would you know?
I think I would. If that has been related to the boys, I certainly would know. But, they have not told me that, and I don't think that happened.
Y'all know one, maybe it's me or maybe I don't see it. I haven't seen from my sources, my resources over here. It's one young man that I haven't seen yet with an attorney. I'm just saying I haven't seen him with an attorney. Maybe you all have, and that's Wyatt. I guess his name Wyatt. Where's his attorney? I know this is Bart attorney at the bottom, and I know the other two boys. I never seen them other two boys before. Who was on Odin show? The other two friends. I never seen them two guys who was on the boat. I don't know their name. I don't even want to get into their name. But I seen one attorney, but I don't see Wyatt's attorney.
Well, they know you. The authorities know that you're counsel, right? So they would have reached out to you if they wanted them to come in or wanted further questioning, or have they been asked to go before the grand jury?
Wyatt's not. They're gonna Bart attorney. I said Wyatt. Whatever his name.
In interested in doing that?
Well, Chris, we've done everything else. We're going to do and continue to do as much as we can do. Whatever our Jackson County Sheriff's Office asks us to do, we're going to do it, just like we have the July 5th.
Now, question that's a little uncomfortable, but I think important. We all here as officers of the court respect the grand jury process. Of course, as a journalist, if I can get information, I'm going to take it. It's one of the weird things about being a lawyer and a journalist, right? But I'm also not a party to the proceeding. They have the initial reports from the autopsy.
Right.
I understand why it's under seal and they want to keep it quiet because of the grand jury, but do you think there is a balance of equities here that isn't being well served by the secrecy? If the authorities can come out, which they can, and say, look, here's what's in the initial findings of the autopsy, that could go a long way to changing the rate of speculation on this story. Do you think that that is something that should have been considered here?
I don't think that our local DA's office is really worried about online speculation. I think they're worried about doing their job and doing it right. And look, again, I go up against them all the time in my criminal practice. They're good at what they do. Our community is safe because of them. Do we fight like the nail that day? Absolutely. But I can trust them to know that they're going to do what is right. I don't believe that they are worried about online speculation. They're worried about doing a good job. And that's what they do. I know because we've given them all the evidence that we can ever give them. Every bit of phone logs, Life 360. We've given them location data. We've done phone dumps. We've given them every single thing that we could possibly do. I don't think Angel Myers and her team are worried about online speculation. Could it calm some people's speculation? Sure. But again, they're worried about doing their jobs. Me and Ed are worried about doing ours.
I got you.
And also, well, I have a few things I wanted to add. I could hold them until the end, but there's just a few things that are really important to remember, if I may.
Go ahead.
So number one, look, this situation reminds me a lot of the Duke Lacrosse situation.
I covered it very extensively there and remotely.
So
I and Dan Abrams were fundamental. He was at NBC, I was at ABC. We changed the timeline involving Seligman, which was one of the first big cracks in Naifang's narrative. And it was a very rare occasion where a prosecutor was making up a story.
yes, and look, we're both a little older. I'm 40.
Dollhouse delivery.
Hold on, y'all. Let me skip the commercial.
A lot of folks are maybe a little young to remember it, but that was the classic rush to judgment. One of the first things I thought of when I became involved in this situation was Duke Lacrosse. That's point one. Point two, I just want to say this. When I went to the island, when I was fortunate enough to go to Horn Island, I got to observe the washing machine. All right, I was told, this area, it's right off the beach. Tyler told me it's called the washing machine. Very
Off
deep.
the beach of Horn Island, which is about 10 miles south of the south coast of Mississippi. They call it the washing machine because it's a lot of water going through a channel between Horn Island and an adjacent island, and it's very turbulent.
Yes, and you're dead on. And I just want to say, as someone who is not from the area, I was literally standing on the beach and just feet away from me, just mere feet away. You see it, and you realize those rip currents are going to overpower just about anybody. You see the green water, then you see the blue water where there's a drop-off. Now listen, as I said, we don't speculate. We don't know if that's what happened to Nolan, but I'm only offering that as an example of something that you can only see when you go out there. That's number two. Number three, I want to emphasize that Warren called the Coast Guard that night on July 4th. That does not sound to me like the activity, the action, the behavior of a guilty man. calling a federal law enforcement agency to go search the island. That's number 3. Number 4 cannot be emphasized enough. Morgan, Warren, Jax, these were Nolan's best friends. Enough said on that. What else can you say? They are crushed to the cores of their souls. And then lastly, we might as well address this. I just have to say, all this stuff about racism, making it about race, that is all coming from the outside. Because that is not the reality on the ground in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I am here to tell you, that is not what this town is about. Ocean Springs, Mississippi is
Sean boy, you funny.
a racist town. It is the most non-racist town you could imagine. It is a place where all folks, black and white.
Y'all, please be respectful. Whoever calling somebody out their name, please be respectful in the chat, calling people out their name, okay? Because you don't have to be on this channel. You can be on somebody else's channel. But thank you, Sean boy.
You can't blame the Wells family for that, can you?
Well, just like Ed said, it's the outsiders coming in. I have no idea what Ocean Springs is like. We're not blaming the Wells family, absolutely not. But what Ed is saying is correct. There's people.
It's a shame that won't nobody tell her, don't get her no information by her baby, by her son. That's her son. She should know the truth. And it's people, it's strange how people just running with the wrong narrative. People don't like the truth. People don't like the truth. They like for you to lie. Because that's what they do. They want to hear lies. They don't want to hear the truth. I believe those boys until otherwise. Because if they seen had eyes on him at 3:30, 4:31, if they left, somebody saw him at 6, and these people, Officer Tatum and these attorneys got this information, y'all. They got this information. It's due a time in fact. What happened to Nolan during the time he was out there on that island? Someone is talking. Trust me, because the grand jury is quiet. But just to say the boys did it, and after 6 o'clock, Nolan was still there, 7:30, didn't nobody see him. So she telling me that she seen him at 6. Katie, we haven't heard from Katie. At least these boys stepped up and spoke out. Who on Nolan Wells' side is going to speak out beside those friends? What about them other friends? What about those other people? We just targeted. Yeah, it's a lie as that we don't know about the case. So why sit here and punch, just punching holes in the boys until you find out what really happened? You know what I mean? I don't think the boy did anything either. Not if we gonna go with the time. If we gonna go with the time, if we gonna go with Katie say, if we gonna go with the other people who saw, the other parents that saw Nolan, if we gonna go with the people who stayed there overnight, it's a lot of people stayed on the island overnight. It's a lot in this case that size punching holes and picking at kids. Yeah, that truth is gonna come out. And when the truth come out, I'm gonna tell this. I'm gonna have my ball over here. Yeah, thank y'all for Tatum.
That Ocean Springs is a certain way based on Mississippi's history. Come to Ocean Springs, see it, live it. People here, our neighbors, our friends, our communities, we are not what people think we are. We don't believe in that. We don't subscribe.
Now, one thing about speaking on Ocean Springs, somebody in Ocean Springs are not the good side of Ocean Springs, allegedly. Somebody know what happened to Nolan. It could. I'm not gonna say what it could. I don't know. Somebody know what happened to Nolan, and people are people. You could be from my state. I love Georgia. But the part I love, but it's still things that happen. It's still people that don't think like me and care like me. It's a lot of, it's too much going on in this. Just because they from Ocean Spring, you might have the Ocean Spring good side. You may have somebody party too hard and know what happened to Nolan. We don't know what happened out there on that island. And then I think when it come down dealing with young people, even though they are young adults, the thing is, if they're gonna be interviewed, make sure somebody responsible there with them so they can be able to say what they say. Look like these parents put the boys in the driving seat. But I'm gonna say Officer Tatum, because he said he was a police officer. I'm gonna respect the man like that, and I'm not on the YouTube to say who I like and who I don't like, because they don't know me and I don't know them. But I do like. I'm glad that Officer Tatum, if he didn't do what he did, I would have been messed up. But him putting information and having those guys on the show, because the guys could have easily said, "Nah, I'm not doing no interview. No, no." And I can understand the boys not going to the funeral. I wouldn't have went either. Folks acting the food. I wouldn't have, and had threats. I wouldn't have went either. I would have watched it from the house. I don't know Officer Tatum to judge him to say, would he take up for me? I don't know that man. So I'm going on with my content because I'm not on YouTube to like a person, but I can't speak for people that's the problem. Defamation.
Do anything like that. That stuff may have started a long time ago. Got heated in Mississippi a long time ago. But Ocean Springs is where it stops.
Here's something we can disagree on. I blame the sheriff's office for a little bit of what motivated this skepticism. Because the first word that came out was,
no fact.
Even if it was worded the best way they thought they could, which was, right now we don't have any evidence of foul play, I still think it was too soon.
Right.
And I still think that it was triggering for people who were sympathetic to the idea that something else could be at play here. And I think that was something that...
I don't think that the sheriff should have came out and say, tell a parent, and you ain't did no investigation, no foul play. I don't think that was right. How you gonna say no foul play and you had not did an investigation? Let me tell some of y'all younger people something. Just because y'all young adults, they think that your parents not supposed to care about you. Parents still care about their kids. They're grown kids. And they are kids to their parents. And I don't care how grown you want them to be, they still their mama's babies. And they children and they kids. So they thought that Nolan mama was just going, hey, after you said no foul play about my grown son, my adult son, I just supposed to walk off the planet of the sands and go on to mind my business. And I stand up for Nolan Wells' mother for standing up for her son and speaking out for her son. Now,
worked on the Wells family, and I understand why it did. In fact, even if it were my kid, and I was suspicious of what had happened, now the race part doesn't apply, right?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it was one white kid and 5 black kids who went to like a mostly black party and the white kid didn't come home, there'd be a lot of interest in that story also, by the way. But I don't blame the Wells family for wanting answers and not liking what initially came out of the sheriff's office. Do you see it differently?
Well, again, I'll tell you, I can't speak for...
I don't like what the sheriff did too. You can't just scream out no foul play just because somebody's son grown. You ain't about to just scream out no foul play with my son. I'm gonna get one of the best attorney and for you.
All I can say is my experiences here in Ocean Springs, my experience here in Jackson County. Look, the sheriff's department is handling this the way they're supposed to.
There you go.
Okay.
Zatiri.
Again, I fight with them all the time in court. I can tell you times when they've been wrong about the evidence. I can tell you when they've done things wrong. I can tell you when they've done things I don't like, because I point that out in court time. Here and in a lot of other cases, they're doing things the right way. I'm John Ledbetter. I criticized our DA, Angel Myers, how they're handling this, because I think they're handling it appropriately. Look, would have been great if they would have come out and said early on that our boys, or at least in some sort of statement, either way, sure, in an ideal world that'd be great, but in an ideal world,
No good parent is gonna let nobody say their kid, and they know their child, know they love sports, and know they ready for practice, know they can swim, know they so healthy and strong. Anything can happen in the water, but still, ain't nobody gonna sit up here and just let nobody tell them no foul play on their child. I don't care if mine is 18, 19, 30, 31, 32, 33. I'm going to stand up on it with them, and I'm going to get a good attorney. Now, somebody had to introduce her and turn her to being crunk. Because they laid a nurse and I think she was going to go another direction until somebody came and distract her that way. Because she know his friends, what complexion was his friends. She knew they loved Nolan. She know those are his friends. She seen them before. So keep doing what you're doing, Mom.
Nolan block right now. We don't live there. We don't live in that world. So sure, could we criticize money quarterback? Sure. But again, they're working with all the evidence. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're working the case appropriately. And that's what's important.
I understand.
Mike, if whatever I'm speaking, why would you come in the chat and say that? If you don't understand me, you should have been. Stop being rude, gosh. That's what they need to start doing. Stop being rude. I'm not going to block you, okay? I'm not blocking. I'm saving these texts, okay? Guys, I got to be speaking English. You sitting here listening. Dummy.
From your client's perspective, one of the reasons that I'm hinting at this, Counsel Palcic, is if they said, look, we're going to keep investigating, we got other people we have to interview, other things we have to track down, but we got the initial results of the autopsy, and there is water or there isn't water, and there are signs or there aren't signs, and this is the initial finding, it would dampen a lot of the speculation that, of all this craziness that is out there. And I get that there are competing interests, but there are competing interests. The court of public opinion is a real thing.
A very real thing, and I just want to say this. First of all, we have nothing but sympathy for the Wells family, right? So I want to be crystal clear about that. We have nothing but sympathy and condolences for the Wells family, and our heart breaks for them. As far as the investigation goes, look, again, just my personal opinion, I tend to be more comfortable with law enforcement and with investigations when they are doing it quietly and methodically, and when they wait until the end and provide a comprehensive ruling or a comprehensive finding. I feel like when they're dropping findings as breadcrumbs, I feel like that could actually endanger the investigation. And I also feel like it could potentially, there's a risk of misleading the public. That's just my personal philosophy about law enforcement.
Well, let's look at the elephant in the room. And I'll start with you as the defamation guy, and then I'll go to Mr. Cox with his more organic understanding of the community and then how that community will be received. Do you think, with all the speculation and the energy around this, that when the prosecutor comes out, if her conclusion is the grand jury found nothing to indict on, do you think it will be accepted?
I think that most reasonable people, or all reasonable people who are fair-minded, they will accept it. I always believe that there's going to be a percentage of the population, there are going to just be some people who will never accept it. And I think that the reason they will never accept
I wouldn't accept nothing like that either. No, that's my son. I'm sorry.
Never accept it is because sometimes they need a Girardian scapegoat. And that's just human nature. Unfortunately, there's a darker side to human nature. And a lot of the things that I've seen in defamation law, a lot of the things that happen are unfortunately fueled by the darker side of human nature, by our worst impulses. And that's why you end up with Girardian scapegoats like Warren, Morgan, and Jax. Completely innocent young men, categorically innocent young men who didn't do anything wrong, yet they find themselves on the receiving end of death threats and hatred. Some people will never accept it. And that's and by the way, that's a tragedy on top of an already existing tragedy.
Counsel is referring to a philosophical understanding that goes into psychology by a guy named Girard, who said that sometimes, for different reasons, sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's conscientiousness, sometimes it's collective will, where people will need someone to blame. And it's just in a situation like this, a situation like when a mother kills her children and says it's mental illness. It's too mean, it's too hard, it's too terrible. Someone has to be punished. And that's what he's referring to. Counsel Cox, what is your perspective on this? That they come out after, let's say, 2 months, just to use the figure that you threw out, and they say that we presented everything, and there are all these big numbers, X hundred interviews, the thousands of pages, and this and that, grand jury, days and days and days, they've considered this. They did not hand up a true bill on anything. What is your concern that the amount of time and the process works against confidence in the finding? That all that time, all that stuff, and nothing, all that time, how could nobody have seen anything? How did it happen then?
Right.
And there's a good chance they can't answer that question.
Well, Chris, the same people who are going to be upset that this takes a long time are the same people who would be upset if the grand jury were to come out tomorrow. You're not going to change a subset of these people's minds. It's just not going to happen. And so the best we can do, knowing that, is to trust the process. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is doing their job. The DA is doing their job. And look, grand jury is secret. Defense attorneys don't get to go there. It's only the jurists and investigators, witnesses, in the DA's office. We're not going to know what happens inside the room with the grand jury. We're not going to know. We're not going to know what's in the minds of the jury. But what I can tell you is that even after the no true deal comes out, you're going to have people not accept it. You're going to have people not accept it if it came out tomorrow. It's what it is. And there's not really much more to say about that, but what I can say is I believe that our community here in Oak Springs, here in Jackson County, they know the work that's been done. They can see the efforts that law enforcement is putting in. They can see what
I think that somebody in the community, and I believe that the truth is going to come out, because you do have honest people in that community. It's going to tell. They're going to break. It's going to break. Somebody in that community is going to break, and they're going to tell what happened, y'all. They already told what happened. Okay? Now, what's going on in court is sealed, and we won't know yet. It's quiet, though.
boys are going through when they had nothing to do with it. So, were you going to have some that are detractors? Sure. But hopefully, everybody will see what the truth is in time.
Counsel, help people understand who aren't as familiar with the process as you. What is going on in the grand jury right now, and how does it come to a conclusion?
Well, so because the grand jury is secret, I am not sure whether the grand jury has started convicting or not. Well, we're going to know. But evidence is going to be presented to them. They are going to hear from witnesses. if my client get an invitation to be a witness at grand jury, they're going to go.
Right.
And they're going to speak
Correction.
to the grand jury. If whoever is witness, whoever is a
Right.
person that the DA's office wants to talk to.
And see, in Surrection, that's what I was trying to tell somebody. These kids are afraid of whoever that individual out there, whatever happened out there. They are afraid of those people. They are afraid of those people. But I guarantee you somebody gonna slip and they already on told. But they got to prove it. We don't know what's going on behind the scene. I feel sorry for them kids. They still kids.
Know about that until
They young people, but they still kids up under me.
And then, how does it end in your understanding? Like, once the prosecutor has presented all the evidence that they have, now what happens?
Well, then the grand jury deliberates.
And what guidance are they given on? Are they given guidance in your jurisdiction? Is there a judge involved? Does the prosecutor, who offers up potential criminal indictments that they could reach?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question, but the best explanation that I can give is the fact that once the grand jury meets and they deliberate and they decide they do not want to, before they issue a no bill, that no bill will be put on a list of other crimes or other unnatural deaths that are put on a list called a no bill list, and that can be disseminated I believe at the DA's will and pleasure.
What if we didn't have what the friends came out and said? What if the United Cajun Navy didn't come out and print out their investigation that equal with what the boys said? What if we didn't have them to speak? Where would we be at now? What if Officer Tatum didn't put out the boat with the boys on the boat showing y'all that Nolan went on there? What would y'all say then? What would y'all have said then? What if the boys didn't get lawyer up on people for defamation? What if great content creators like myself and others didn't go about what negative feedbacks out there about this case that I wouldn't dare look at? These kids see something. They saw something. We know that's right. We know those kids saw something, and we know that they love Warren. They love to report to Warren. They'll tell Warren there's somebody out there messing with them. But y'all, it just seemed like somebody older in this case, older than them. It seemed like, I don't know why, my vision keeps seeing somebody older and they got the heck off their island. When they happen to know them, they got the heck off. They got the heck off that island. Know them, we're having a good time around there. Shoot, y'all better open your eyes.
It can become public a lot of times here in Mississippi. It's hard to get a no bill, but I would expect at least the DA to announce what the results were.
At this point, do you have any, well, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Will you be surprised if it's a no bill? Would you be surprised if they do hand up indictments?
These boys, this case, there is going to be a no deal.
At least with respect to your clients.
100%.
With respect to your clients, you say.
Absolutely. And I'm only talking about my clients. I have no information about anyone else except for my clients. But as it comes to Jax Battalo, Morgan, listen,
Yeah, and
they're innocent.
and also,
I believe there's going to be a no.
Chris, I just want to say, look, they're completely innocent.
I understand your position on that. I'm saying,
My thing is, people so focused on those boys, but they are not focusing on What happened when the boat left? What happened when the boys left at 4:31? What happened? Because people saw Nolan out there. I do too. They saw Nolan. They saw him out there, y'all. They had to see Nolan at 6 o'clock when the boys were gone. Because Nolan was out there floating around in the water. He was out there. They was gone. Prove it. Prove. They got witnesses, y'all. They got witnesses. And then we're gonna get to Tatum next.
You don't know what else the investigators are looking at, or
That's right.
that stayed on the island after your guys
That's
left.
right.
And there is a possibility that not only did somebody
Oh, he just said what I said.
Your fast track.
Boy, I know about him. Ooh, Lord, him. Listen, I'm keeping my head.
Now available.
We don't know what they know right now.
something, but what they saw was Nolan Wells being given something or treated in a
Right.
way, accidentally or not, that
Right.
may have led to his death.
Well, let me just also offer
Right, Sarah.
this. We are Tyler, myself, Warren, Morgan, Jax, and the families. We are, other than the Wells family, I can tell you this: we are the most eager for there to be a resolution, a conclusion. We want to know what happened.
Right.
And if it turns out that this goes down as an unsolved mystery, I think that would be yet another tragedy on top of tragedy. We want answers, and I want to emphasize in the strongest possible terms, we welcome the truth, and we're not sitting here telling you that Warren, Morgan, and Jax are 99.
My thing is, who else was out there on that island? Island is not from Ocean Springs. Everybody don't have to be from Ocean Springs out there. Everybody don't have to be from. We don't know who was out there. We don't know who was out there. Different people from. It's the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July, baby. No telling who was out there.
Innocent, 99.5%. We are telling you they are 100% innocent, categorically, completely, and they did nothing wrong.
I hear you. I get it. I'd be concerned for the family's choice of counsel if you said otherwise. And the only interesting thing, and I look, for your sake, I hope this doesn't happen, but for the truth's sake, whatever has to happen happens. Which is, if they don't ask them to come in to speak to the grand jury because they're looking at them, and they did hand up an indictment, you'd be in a little bit of a fix because
somebody saw
process
something.
and you believe in this prosecutor's office. But we'll see what comes to pass with it, and we'll cover it throughout, and I'll be giving you a platform throughout, so that anything that comes up that needs to be rebutted, that needs to be explained, that needs to be owned, we'll have an opportunity to do it wherever I am. That I can guarantee.
Now
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I want to get to my boy, Officer Tatum. On him in this situation. I appreciate what he did. I appreciate that he got these guys on here, and like I said, that I hope that they had somebody. Even though they was 18, 19, 20, I think some of the boys 21, they old enough, they grown, they old enough to be on his show. Y'all, my children are early 31 on up, and honey, I'm gonna send a representative from the family with them on anybody's platform. But I believe them boys had somebody with them. And Tatum, in this case, y'all, I'm not talking about the other cases that y'all got something against him. I was very appreciative when he got them boys on there, and that really told me a lot. He guided my story for me because y'all was saying anything out there. So I got to commend this young man from putting that, interviewing those guys, because y'all had this case to where I didn't want to look at nothing else. And then they said, when they shut the mom up and stuff like that, I didn't want to say nothing else. But I want to thank him for doing it, what he did, and the way he conducted himself with those questions. He did a good job, regardless of how people, feel about it. I don't have nothing against him for the interviews, or how he think or what he say. That's his way. I'm not trying to like nobody, but I'm just understanding the situation, the case. The case is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at. If without him having them boys on there, I've been confused in this case. Right.
According to the transcript, yelling at this guy Bart and what happened to Nolan and what's going on. Nolan, wake up, and this and that. It sounds like someone's dead or dying on the boat with them. And it has gone all over the place. It has gone viral. That is the audio that we're talking about. Counsel Russ Latino for Bart Ermiston Jr., who is the Bart, got on the boat to help them with the draining and towed them to let water come out of the boat, and then they were okay and they canceled the sea tow call. That Bart, who was seen by people on both sides, says no conversation like that took place. Nolan Wells was not on that boat. And he had nothing to do with anything that happened to Nolan Wells, though he knew him and liked him.
Yeah, and Chris, I can add more. I saw the video of them on the boat during the phone call. Now,
there you go. There your evidence. He saw it. He saw the video. He saw it. He saw what was in the boat. Officer Tatum seen another video that we did not. I'm glad he didn't put it on there, because there's some characters out there would be wild with this. These are just my opinion. He saw the video, not just the little video that y'all seen. He got the real video inside the boat.
I presented it in part. It's the one that you see all over TMZ, all over the news. It has the Officer Tatum on it, and you see a quick glimpse of that boat. Well, I have the full video.
See, he got the full video. Tatum had the full video. The full video of what's going on the boat, right? Inside that boat, he got the full video. He haven't put out the full video. He hasn't put out the full video. But he did put out, Sarah, he did put out this video. But he didn't put out the real video that y'all haven't seen. Because I'm glad he didn't. Because they see an arm, they see a leg. I don't see nothing. I don't know what this is right here. I don't know. I'm not about to say that's an arm or leg. Because some loudmouth person said, that's an arm, that's a leg. You see it on the boat? But no, I'm not going to do that.
Only reason that I don't want to put the video out and the lawyers are against it, because there's other people that's not involved in this that are featured on the video.
Was Nolan Wells on the boat?
No, he's not on the boat. And the pan, let me tell you, it's interesting, right? These kids, this is my perception from what I see on the boat. They're having a good time. I would argue that... Let me put it back.
Let me put it back. Hold on. Let me put it back right there. That don't look like no leg to me. What kind of leg is that? It don't look like no leg to me. And I can't, and I'm not gonna say it is. It just don't look like now to me. It looked like something, but not a leg. I don't know what it look like, but it don't look like no person. He got the whole video, so I'm not gonna go with that. I'm not gonna put my mind on that.
That I don't want to put the video out, and the lawyers are against it because there's other...
No, he haven't put. But see, RS, he hasn't put out the real video that y'all need to see. the video, the whole full video, he just said he hasn't put that out yet. That's not it. It's just these videos right here. I don't want. Only reason why I don't want to get into those other videos because people can edit something, make it look like something else. But I just don't. I just don't see what people see. I just don't.
All over the news, it has Deontay Tatum on it, and you see a quick glimpse of that boat. Well, I have the full video, and the only reason that I don't want to put the video out, and the lawyers are against it because there's other people that's not.
See, he can't put out the real videos. He can't put out he hasn't put Officer Tatum, just in case somebody don't show you a video that they created. He could not put out the official video. Is because there are other people on the boat that don't want their face seen. Yeah, they got the real video. The lawyers don't want him to put it out because there are other people on the boat, y'all, that y'all don't see right here. It's some more people on the boat. The problem is what happened to Nolan. That's the problem in the video. What happened to Nolan? Because Nolan's supposed to be over there having fun with his other friends. Okay.
Oftenness that are featured on the video.
Was Nolan Wells on the boat?
No, he's not on the boat. And the pan, let me tell you, it's interesting, right? These kids, this is my perception from what I see on the boat. They're having a good time. I would argue that some of them are having such a good time that half of the people are concerned and half of the people don't know what's going on. There's two boats. There's the boat that Bart is running to tow, and there's the boat that Warren and them are on. And some people are having such a good time that they're like joking about it. They're not even thinking it's happening. And then you have, Warren's side or Wyatt's side where I can see Wyatt on the phone talking to Cito. Nolan is nowhere to be found. No activity is really going on the other boat.
So you don't see any corresponding activity that would suggest the urgency and the dialogue that is in the transcript of the sweetened audio.
No, there's a girl on that boat that's yelling because she's having a good time and she's screaming and she's talking.
See, he's seen the whole video. The official video is not out. He's telling y'all the official video because the other people don't want their faces seen on that video.
Loud and whatever. And I don't know if that translated to the phone call because she's on the opposite boat, and at one point in the video the boats are together like this. Because people are trying to get on this boat to the other boat and do all that. And they're all having a good time, if you know what I'm saying. They had a good time out there. So
there is no sign of distress.
No.
There is no kind of frantic or yelling or controversy.
No, it's what the yelling that I hear on the video is people seem to have a good time, and they're yelling and saying all kind of crazy. They're laughing, and
that is the moment that he is calling Cito and being told.
It has to be some portion of it. The video that I saw was, I think it was a Snapchat that somebody had taken, or they recorded somebody's Snapchat or something like that, and it's only like 36 seconds. But in this entire video, it pans from Bart's boat, it pans around, and there's some people faces in there that are not involved at all, and so that's kind of why we didn't put it out without their permission. And then it pans over to Wyatt's boat, which is what I released, like a 3-second thing. It pans over to Wyatt's boat, and it comes back over to Bart's boat, so you can see 99%. You can see everybody that's on Wyatt's boat. You can see 99% of people that's on Bart's boat. Nobody's in distress. Some people are joking. They're like, what's going on? And you're like, so it's not even a pandemonium.
But but see, that's what the problem is, Officer Tatum. Somebody is like agitating some of these videos, making them, and people believing what they want to believe, and that's the point. That's the thing, y'all, is stop believing all of these videos just because this person's saying that, yipping and yapping and yapping. Yeah, get it from the source. It's the video out there, official video that y'all haven't seen. Okay, these are not all of the people on the boat. There's some more people on the boat. I seen a video when the boy tried to show blood, DNA on the boat. I'm not about to believe. Stop looking at some of these videos on the Instagram, on the TikTok, on the Facebook. Stop looking at some of that stuff. Them folks sitting up there getting paid off of y'all. Yeah, and that's a big problem right there, Sarah. And see, with Nolan leaving the island with somebody else nobody. You remember when they said don't nobody? Right? Yeah. The only people see the real evidence is the grand jury. But my thing is, they said that people don't get left out there on the island. So it's so sad because Nolan didn't go back on the boat that he came with. And y'all know how that is. Y'all know how when me, let me speak to me. I can't speak for we. When I go out sometime, I might not want to go back with my friend. And she be like, come on, you going back with me? You came with me. I said, nah, I'm going to be all right. And then I tell her to ask the dude. I took a chance to tell her to ask the dude, you going to take care of me? I don't believe in somebody I don't know. I'm believing this dude right here. And then she said, well, you need to get my phone number and everything. These days, they can't do like we used to do back in the day. They can't do that no more. Cause it's not good to do that. It's totally different. You don't know who you leaving with. But that kind of think about what you said, him leaving and coming back, with a stranger. We don't know because there are some people that was still on that island, y'all. There were some people that spent the night on that island. These people saw something. Everybody don't drink. Everybody don't smoke. Some people just got natural high. So they can't say everybody. You can have fun without drinking and smoking. So everybody out there don't have to be drinking and smoking. Some of the people were jokes about sinking. I do too. I think they was joking. I don't know why that C told.
Literally, Wyatt is driving the thing with his on the phone like this. Some people are working on the boat like this, and then on Bart's boat, people are laughing and joking and saying, I don't know, are they sinking? They sinking, this is crazy. I think they're sinking. That's the kind of environment. So
see that on Bart boat, these people feeling good and laughing at the folks who's supposed to be sinking. So it's a lot of talking going on that boat, and I don't know, like I say, it's that C told about that video. Whoever put it out there, you put it out there for a reason. And you need to be the main one on YouTube talking.
it's not even a panic. And here's the thing. People mad at me because I say this as if I'm making this up. Like, we shared the video.
Yeah, it's some people stayed on the island. It's some people stayed on the island. It's some people stayed on the island. They stay out there. I'm saying, what you gonna go home for? You can camp out there. Yeah. Shoot, man, please.
The thing is that this is consistent with an account of two witnesses who spoke to police that said they saw Nolan on the island after this had already happened. So that confirms that what people are doing with this call is they're doing what we call confirmation bias.
Now, Officer Tatum just told you all the same thing I just showed y'all, and let y'all see what the attorney said. Whoever those individual grown adults, full grown adults, saw Nolan right there on that island at 6 o'clock. They telling y'all people in the world that they saw Nolan at 6 o'clock, and people still targeted those kids. That's the part I don't understand. Why are they targeting those kids? I mean, they sit up here and tell. I don't understand why people not arguing about that. This is what the lawyers told you all, and Tatum told you all that the person said they saw Nolan at sex. So if they saw Nolan at sex, how in the heck can he be on the boat? Sheesh. Some people just troublemakers.
This is why I disagree with the young lady, and I don't think she's professional at all in actually translating or doing whatever she claims she did with the audio. Any audio technique.
Now, only thing I can say, Tatum, about the young lady who was doing the video thing, taking the audio, I don't know her. I don't know her or nothing like that. I'm just going by what she said. She said this is what she do on her job, and this is what she knows how to do. Even if she know how to do this is what she picked up, and this is what a lot of people heard. So I don't think that she did this to make nobody look bad.
That wants to give a fair forensic explanation of what's really on the audio will never put a transcript on the audio.
Guess what? I put a transcript on the audio, and I have a video where my people over here on my channel broke down the audio and showed y'all the transcript with nothing like that from the beginning. I played it for the people over on my channel and my subscribers. We did not see, it did not print out the beginning of the video. I played it to y'all 4 or 5 times. Y'all go back and watch it on my channel. Let's Talk Choices TV. We went over that description. We played it. We didn't see nothing from the beginning on there. But it's not the people's fault that somebody put the audio out there. I just want that understood, Tatum. It's not the people's fault that they put someone put a C-told audio out there. Knew people was going to investigate it. Knew that people was going to break it down. It's not the people's fault. It's the person who put that video out there. 'Cause it didn't make sense to me.
It's the confirmation bias. I promise you right now, Chris, if I did it, I almost had my team do it.
I couldn't either, Sarah.
Change out the words, put it out to the public, and when people see the words, they're gonna hear what they want, what they think they saw.
There is a power of suggestion that goes to that, and that's why they have the sweetening experts, and then they have the dialogue experts.
Yeah, you can't.
It is interesting that I have not heard the family or, specifically.
I didn't hear nothing on that. I didn't hear what everybody else heard on the video. I didn't. Can't nobody make me say I did. I played it over for my people on my channel. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. It didn't make sense. Audio didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. What I pulled up for you all, it didn't. On my channel, it didn't. We didn't hear that. We didn't hear it, and then it didn't show in the description section. It didn't show none of that.
Benjamin Crump's counsel put out this call as proof of anything.
And let me tell you this, they not only didn't put it out as proof, Benjamin Crump on an interview, I forget the Black Vlog interview he just did recently, I think it's his most recent interview, he said, we're going to get our own experts to do this, which means that he did not validate or he did not think.
A lot of people went with that audio.
So did. A lot of people went with that audio. I didn't. That didn't make sense.
Though a lot of people
I know they did, and they were wrong. And I'm gonna tell you this, Chris. I'm being honest. Some people did it because they actually believed it, because they have no experience in investigations.
Right.
They don't critically think about these things because they're not seeing that people can manipulate on such a scale. There are others that have ran with it because it's lucrative. If I go and put out toe shows everything. Nolan Wells was dead on a boat, and I'm pushing it. I'm gonna get millions of views. And some people are like, I'd rather get the views knowing that I'm absolved of any responsibility because it's not my video.
My thing is that video that they put out there. If y'all heard it, and like you said, you into music, that's what y'all heard. Now, when I listen to the video, and those who follow me, y'all know we listened to the video. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear what they heard. And then I tried to show the word. I said, well, why they not showing the words? What they saying at the beginning, because somebody put it in there like that. And who put that video out there? Who put that video, that C-Toad video out there? They did it for a devil reason. They did that for a reason. I don't like that. It was her. Now, you don't see, that's what I'm talking about, defamation. See, Brent, you don't know me. You don't know me. His mama don't believe that, Carl. You can't say that about me if you don't know me. Right, Donovan. The thing is, you can't say what I would say about my kids, because you don't know me. If that been my son, I wouldn't even listen to that video. I listened to that video. I didn't believe nothing. I can't hear it. If I tell the truth and say I didn't hear what was on that video and I couldn't understand the video, then you need to respect me for that. Thank you, Noda. And that's what I want people to understand. You know, just accept me the way I am. If I'm like that, then leave. If you don't. I didn't believe the video. I had this conversation with one of my sons. Shoot, if I did my son, y'all won't.
I'm push it until I can get enough of it, and then I'm gonna move on to something else and go, wow, we were lied to. That's crazy. It's like, no, a responsible investigator or a person that's doing due diligence will say, let me make sure that's what that says.
Right.
Before I am caught pushing a audio
That's what I said, Tatum. I sat there and I showed my people who've been following me, and they know how I am on this channel. I played that video over and over. I kept on doing it a couple of days. Y'all know this. And it bothers me because I just don't understand that C-Toad video. I didn't understand that C-Toad video. And I played it over and over for y'all. I played it over and over and over. And I didn't get what people were hearing.
That Nolan is being killed or he's dead on a boat, which implicates, I don't know, 7 people. So, and when and Chris, I listened to the audio. I said,
me too.
I don't have a dog in the fight, man. I mean, I'm spending all of my own money to do all of this stuff. I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to look like a fool. I spent years building my platform. I'm not finna put fake stuff on my stuff I'm not going to put these boys on an interview and let them lie on my platform and then come and kill them. My family got to eat at the end of the day. I'm not finna let them ruin my platform. So, but all that being said, you know, I look at it and I listen to it and I said, listen, Brandon, see if you hear any of that, because this could be
hey, baby.
I don't hear that. Unless I'm reading a transcript, I don't hear that whatsoever.
In the transcript, it didn't say that. I showed y'all the transcript. It didn't say that. So don't everybody, you can make a fool out of some people, but you can't make a fool out of everybody. I didn't hear it. I'm like Tatum, I didn't hear it. So you can't make me hear nothing I didn't hear.
My investigatory skills and my training is like, hold off until you have an expert or you have something forensically done to that audio that will prove what it says in an unbiased way.
And also, look, there's so many witnesses there. If Nolan was on that boat and something was done to him, there's no way. You're right about reticence of wanting to come forward, especially once the media circus started. But there's no way investigators don't have that.
No way. Here's the thing that I think that Nolan's parents and Benjamin Crump pushed in the beginning which I think caused all this. Why wouldn't they just be honest and tell that law enforcement had spoke to 60 witnesses right when Nolan had died, 3 weeks before this? They acted as if the boys weren't cooperating. She said they pushed it out there that they lawyered up immediately. No, Warren is the only one that got a lawyer because his stepmom's a judge, and she's smart enough to not let her kid go into the lion's den with no representation.
Right.
Which every parent, responsible parent who has the means to, will make sure your kid has a lawyer no matter what. The other boys didn't have a lawyer. They went and talked to police and did a computer voice stress analysis with no representation.
And I don't know if I said this to you last time. I definitely said it about your interview. I don't know if I said it to you. But no chance my son...
Woo! Watch what he about to say, y'all. Watch what he about to say. He's saying the same thing I said. Nobody would have been interviewing my children without me being there. Hold on. Nobody interviewed my kids without me, a representative there.
A lawyer no matter what. The other boys didn't have a lawyer. They went and talked to police and did a computer voice stress analysis with no representation.
And I don't know if I said this to you last time. I definitely said it about your interview. I don't know if I said it to you. But no chance my son or daughter goes to the police alone to talk to them. I don't know if we discussed this. And I'm not saying, look, I'm not anti-cop. I work with first responders all the time. They get my respect, okay? But no way. When you're looking to make a case, people have to be represented if they're going to talk to you. And I don't care if he did nothing wrong. I don't even care if he was there. It's better if you can afford counsel to have it.
Listen, Chris. This is why we have Miranda rights, right? This is a right.
Yeah, but that's only when they're taking you into custody. They can come in, come talk to me, and before you know it,
I would have told them kids before I interviewed them. I don't care if they 21, 22, 23. You have the right. Your right is to remain silent, and it's up to you. Let me see. Do I know you have the right to remain silent? Anything you say will be held against you in the court of law, or justice, or whatever it says. I would have told him. I think that being a cop, that he would have told them how much to say, what not to say. So to protect them.
Well, here's the thing. If you interview a person and they are not free to leave, and you have not made it clear, you have not read the Miranda rights, then you don't have a right to talk to them whatsoever.
That's right.
When we bring a person in because we have an investigatory reason to talk to them, meaning that, like if you listen to it, your statements can be used against you in the court of law. So voluntarily coming into the police station is not automatic that it's all very clear that you can leave.
Right.
Once we get you in the interrogation room, are you under the impression that you can just walk out of this at any time? And are you aware that whatever statements that you give to me can be used against you in the court of law? Mm-hmm. This is not off the record. So
having a lawyer is not necessarily
reason
for suspicion.
I'm a police advocate, and you better never talk to a police officer without representation in a situation like this. Yeah.
So that's telling me that what Tatum said is they did have a representative sitting there in the studio. That's what he's saying. That he wouldn't interview them without a representative in the studio. That's what he's saying. Right.
I get it. I get the family's suspicion. I get the family being triggered. I get the family being heartbroken and desperate and upset. I mean, it all makes sense. All the feels make sense.
It makes sense until you hear the other side, and then it starts to become questionable. Because the thing is that why didn't they talk to Warren them about this before they ever went public? Why didn't they just talk to him? Why didn't they talk to Tristan?
So I think the parents were pretty, all depends on the situation the parents in. Remember, they lost their son, and then they don't know what happened. They don't know what to believe, and then they got somebody telling that the sheriff telling them no foul play. So anger in their heart, they don't want to talk to nobody. So I think that the family needed a little bit more support instead of division in Nolan's Well case. She needed support. That lady helped people. That's what she spent her life on. Yeah, somebody gonna break, somebody gonna break.
Why did they
I
talk
don't know,
to them?
but I could understand being so overwhelmed
Me too.
and immediately concerned that something bad happened. And who knows, maybe somebody said something to them that made them suspicious. But, in that kind of state, it's not like they're acting by their best lights. You know what I mean? They're in the most pain imaginable to a parent.
I agree to that. I consent to that.
Right.
I think that is a fair statement. I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Me either. I'm gonna have a
I know
fit.
what I would do, right? In my opinion, but I have a former police officer background, right? I mean, I'm a former police officer, so I'm talking to because I know y'all may have talked to the police, but I'm not gonna know what you said to the police.
Tatum, I passed my test and everything I supposed to have did for become a police officer. The only reason why I didn't succeed is because I didn't buy a hearing aid to put in. They wanted me to get the hearing aid in my ear because I messed up my ear. This is when I was young, in my 20s. I don't pass everything. I could have been a police officer. That's the only thing I didn't get a hearing aid, because you got to hear people when they come behind you. And also educating. So I went in the education world, and we had to investigate discipline, investigate fights, that's all PE teachers does, is go to hearings. I done been in front of the board because of in a hearing one, and it was a lot because it ain't that I take up for kid. It just, I don't like to see nobody being lied on. And I don't like people feeling getting hurt like that, And I feel so sorry for Christina. That's her son. She can't help she beautiful. She can't help who she is. That's her baby. That's her baby. Shoot.
If you guys willing to talk to me, let's come together. Let's talk. What do you know?
Right.
Who saw him last? What was he drunk? Was he drinking? We need to talk. Who else? Whose number you got? I need to talk to them. I want to talk.
Now, what's your take on that, Brandon? There's this division now. I got hit with this a little bit. I don't even understand why I got hit with it. That's a different story. I'm not saying that Nolan Wells was a known alcoholic who was, fall down drunk that day. I've just reported what has been said on your interviews and others, that he was there partying with everybody else, and that he was known to drink, so it's not like he didn't drink. And he was partying with people. And now, again, I saw on the platform where the mother's saying, oh, that's not true, that's being said about him. I mean, what's your...
My thing is, you can hear anything. How long have y'all, why is the drinking, everybody out there drinking, why Nolan the only one drunk? Why the Nolan the only one drown? Why? They are friends, y'all. That's why, you remember when your parents say, you go with a friend, make sure it's a lot of y'all. So go hang with your friends, stay with your friends. That's because you can have witnesses. So witnesses was out there. It don't matter how much he drink. He still have witnesses out there. A lot of witnesses. Tons of witnesses. What happened to him though? Nobody saw that. And they said approximately 2:45 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. something happened to Nolan. The coach said they talked for a while. They talked about college. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't intoxicated. We talk about his life, his plans. He having a whole conversation. Christine remembered the coach saying, and he was like, he was perfectly fine. Because I think it had bothered him too, that there was this narrative of he was sloppy drunk. That's just an excuse. Somebody using that as excuse that he was drunk.
Understanding of this. Here's one of those other things where, can I trust, not in the nefarious way, but can I trust what Mama is saying? Because Mama is contending with her son's reputation too.
Well, I'm gonna trust what the mama say. I can really call him Nolan. I'm gonna trust what the mother said because that's her child. But it's not that at that time when I have to trust her because I trust what the boy said. So I trust the mama. She said he spoke to a coach. And the coach said he was fine. I got to trust her because that's what the coach said. Just like I trust what the boys said. So yeah, the only thing, don't tell them not to trust the mom. The mom just going by what the coach said at the time that she saw Nolan. He wasn't sloppy drunk. That's what she said.
Now, anybody
Which is stellar, by the way.
I'm not going against Tatum, y'all. I'm just saying on that part, I'm trusting the mom like I trust the boys.
Traveling with your gun is a roll of the dice, because the truth is, one small mistake, whether you know it or not, can lead to...
By the way, I haven't heard a bad word about
the kid was I don't want to say a god, but he's a mini god. Like nobody has anything bad to say.
Ocean Spring, we need for y'all to help investigate what happened to this baby out there on that island. That's still that mama's baby. If Nolan was white, I care for any kids. I'm just a kid person. I love people. Now look, I don't know one, but when I look at his picture, he doesn't look like the kind. He don't look like that kind of me that gets sloppy drunk. So we don't know what happened. See, you know what? You can get around the wrong people. Man, come on to take a drink. Man, go on. You'll be all right. We gonna take you. We gonna take you away. We gonna take you away. Come on, take this last drink, man. Shoot, man. You'll be surprised at what somebody out there drinking. Turn these boys ain't for 18 years old, thin body. They ain't thick like me, and age matter when you drinking, and size matter. Shoot. No telling, they were having one boat were having too much fun.
Matter of fact, his parent, I floated an idea when I was talking to them, like, could it be possible that he was doing something like this and it was something potentially criminal? One of the parents almost screamed at me at the idea of never would Nolan do anything like that. Nolan was a perfect kid. I mean, I'm telling you, even the other parents are defending Nolan. But anyway, the whole thing about drinking, Chris, come on, man. We know you're not going to Horn Island at 18, 19, 20, and you're not having a good time. There's a video out right now. We posted it. It's all over the internet. They pan the thing. You see Nolan in the water. You see everybody with drinks in their hand.
And that's a good thing about drinking is you got your friends around you. That's the number one thing a judge would look at. If he was drinking, if he was intoxicated, where was his friends? You're supposed to be by your friends and take care of your friends like I do. If I was intoxicated, if I was at his age, I'd be looking out, somebody was looking out for me. They'll go lay me down. They'll go put me in a safe place. I've always been the kind of person that say I don't drink. There's a lot of people don't drink. A lot of people don't smoke. Even if they were buzzed, somebody out there looked out for Nolan. Something happened. They ain't got everybody ain't buzzed now. Everybody ain't drunk. Everybody ain't intoxicated. Everybody don't do everything.
Another kid passing out drinks. There is no way that Nolan.
And they drinking that 2% alcohol, that 2% alcohol. They ain't drinking that good stuff.
Drink. And there are accounts that people told me that Nolan had a lot of drinks. Now, Warren said
if he did have a lot of drink, why they ain't picked his butt up and threw him on that boat? If he had a lot of drink, why his other friends didn't help him? Why didn't nobody help their friend? No, why didn't nobody help their friend? I don't care how old your friend is. I got older friends, they look out for me. Shoot.
saw Nolan at 3, Nolan seems to be fine. The people that saw Nolan after 3 said that he had been drinking. Now, nobody really knows what's the contributing factor because you don't really know. You could be drinking a lot and you could be getting woozy from exhaustion. Because, Chris, I went out there for an hour and a half. I think I was at Horn Island. My arms are peeling now because I got sunburn. I wanted to take a nap.
That sun and that water always put me to sleep, Tatum. That sun and that water, I went to the beach and laid down up on the umbrella and took me a nap because I'm a nap person.
Sun just beaming on me and I wasn't even drinking or nothing. I wasn't even in the water. I jumped in the water to get to the
That's
island.
right, P.
Jumped in the water to get back on the boat. I mean, it was like a 20, 30-minute boat ride. And man, I wanted to go take a nap. Imagine being out there for 6 hours. Drinking
and not hydrating.
Drinking, not hydrating. You just drinking beers.
Listen, I get it. I mean, I just thought it was
Drinking is hydrated, baby. You can't get dehydrated drinking, having a good time. Everything. Nolan probably. I guarantee you, a certain time out there on that island, Nolan body shut down. Lots of jellyfish too. Okay, Nolan body probably shut down out there, but. Why did nobody help him? A lot of people don't want to help people, y'all, and they don't have to.
Interesting that,
but people, Chris, people have,
and that can happen, Sarah.
Is becoming more than it ever should have been because it reveals the internal racism that black people have. And I'm not saying anybody else is racist. I'm just speaking from black people.
I'm not racist. I know when I made it. Police department and my son got mad. Not my son, my brother got mad. Oh, you a police officer now? I ain't fooling with you no more. I'm done with you. I was like, why you acting like that, boy? I'm trying to feed my family and help people. My brother couldn't stand the police, y'all. He ain't want me to be no police officer. I made it.
Every time you remember the Carmelo thing? Mm-hmm. You had people saying they were glad that white boy got killed.
I didn't like that.
Rumors and lied all about.
Now with Carmelo Anthony, and I'm not about to get into him right now. I don't like what happened at that track meet. I was so mad with the coaches. I was so mad with the administrators. I was so mad. I don't even want to talk about that right now. I got upset with a lot of them people out there.
Character and they defamed him and everything. Then you go to trial and Carmelo Anthony was guilty. He was sentenced. It was clearly a disproportionate use of what he would consider self-defense.
Right,
it wasn't right. He was wrong. He stabbed him. He admitted to stabbing him. You had an entire wave of the black community.
I know when I did this case, I hate that happened to that young man, and I hate he was in the mind of frame that he was in. That we lost 2 young men. And that shouldn't have happened, but I don't want to talk about that right now, because I get upset.
You decided you were going to say something about Austin Metcalf that was positive.
Right,
if you were to come out and say that Carmelo Anthony was wrong, you got lectured. They called you every name in the book. And look at what happened in the case. I knew what happened because I'm a cop and I know what the laws are. This case is very similar. If you don't say that these white boys did something wrong. And I almost would challenge you, Chris, to try this, but I don't want you to try it because, you know, it can be.
Well, I done been blessed out. I done been called racist because I say the boys didn't do nothing wrong. I believe that I'm going to stick with my word. I believe them boys like I believe the mother. I believe the boys like I believe the mother. Because if those people, the other witnesses, say they saw Nolan at 6 o'clock and a girl left at 7:30, she didn't see Nolan, I don't know what to go on. But I know one thing, Nolan was still out there on that island though. Because they found him unalive.
But I almost want you to say, I don't think they did it. And watch your voicemails. And watch your Instagram.
Taylor telling you the truth now. Taylor tell you the truth. He telling you the truth about me. I don't worry about people. I'm going to say what I want to say.
You're going to get your life threatened. I just played like 3 calls that Ben Hudson got. Dudes are saying, we're going to kill you. We're going to come kill your kid. We're going to catch y'all out.
Oh, shoot.
He gave $50,000 towards finding out what happened to Nolan.
And then when you go to court, and when they had to go to court, and please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Oh, yes, you did. Because you shouldn't have said it. What were you proving? I ain't feeling sorry for nobody. I'm a Pisces. I ain't going to feel sorry for you.
You know, it's a racial thing. And in our country, it's completely divided on these topics every single time. And it's because these race hustling activists.
Right, Saration. Somebody saw that boy. Somebody saw Nolan Wells. I remember a time when we used to have enough witnesses. We had no witnesses. Nolan got thousands of witnesses. Come on, y'all. And all them witnesses out there wasn't drunk. Because one thing about it, you're going to have a designated driver. I don't care what nobody say. We always had a designated driver. We had so many designated drivers when we went out that didn't drink. So don't go there with me. Shoot, yeah.
Come out and interject race. Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf had nothing to do with race. It's a young man making a poor decision that ruined his life. No race.
I said that.
It's involved in this, man. We don't have any reason to believe any one of these boys had a racial...
Well, I agree with that. We don't have any reason to believe right now in what's going on with Nolan Wells. We have no reason to believe.
But Chris, why do they bring it up? Why would they bring it up?
They know why they bring it up. Because it was that initial picture is one black guy and a bunch of white guys. And it seemed like 5 guys went out, 4 guys came back. And it's the...
I ain't see it. I didn't see that. I didn't see it as racist. I don't care what nobody said. When I saw the picture, all I saw a smile on this young man's face. That's the only thing make me feel good. He was happy because he was with his friends. He was so happy he was with his friends. He was having a good time. Just like they were having a good time. Like I always have a good time.
Image. Right. I know it's not accurate, but that was the image.
Right, and that image in some people's minds who are...
And it's Mississippi.
Right. Yeah. See, but it's, they have a race, they live life through a racist lens. I see a picture saying, these boys went out, one boy did not come back. These boys may have done something they shouldn't have done. They made a mistake, and they're wrong. They should go to prison if they have done something to this boy.
Only thing I could say what I thought was, if something happened out there, somebody got scared, and it happened to their friend, and somebody need to talk to that person who got scared. But it's a lot of people said he was out there at 6 o'clock. Navy occasions, United Occasion Navy said the boat did leave at 4:30. They called 911 at 4 o'clock. Why is everybody focusing on that? Let's focus on what happened to Nola after 4:30. Because there were witnesses. Y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. And like I say, keep it real over here, y'all. We keeping it real over here. And when you don't know a person, if there was my son's situation like that, I wouldn't even be on here talking to y'all. I won't. I be trying to get down to the bottom of it. That's what I've been trying to do. I've been talking to some of the parents. I've been doing a whole lot in this investigation. But that yabba dabba do C-toad thing, it was set up. It was a setup to me. That C-toad at the beginning, somebody knew what they were doing when they did it. I love y'all. Be safe out there. I'm the real deal, and I'm gonna keep it real. If you don't like it, you're on the wrong channel. I love people, and I'm gonna stand for people. Since I retired, I've been the same way I've been. And if I had to talk to one of these boys, I could have got more out of these boys than most of the people on that island. Now, I'm out.